Hey guys, just hopped out of a client call and felt inspired to share this insight with you as your productivity micro challenge of the week. So, the insight today has to do with something that you won't fully grasp until the last minute. This is one of those surprise ending insights. And so, stick with me here. But the concept has to do with starting with a good intention of ratcheting your productivity, which is a concept I teach, I talk about a lot. Just instead of being the person who's just running on the hamster wheel all the time just to maintain, you want to be spending the majority of your time as a business owner building systems to where those you're not a cog in the system itself, right? So you want to spend your time doing things that buy you dividends of time saving in the future. And if you could do that all day, every day, then nobody could match your productivity, right? In terms of what you're able to produce and create. And that's the ultimate goal. Not everybody can achieve that instantly. There's payoffs that come sometimes depending on how farsighted you can afford to be based on what you've already built and what support systems or cash flows you currently have. But that's the ultimate goal, right? Is to be able to spend all your time working on the business and not in the business. So let's use this scenario where someone is trying to get out of doing customer support themselves. They're trying to figure out how can I ratchet my productivity. And let's just walk through like a surface level sort of, here's really quick things you can do to remove that bottleneck. Here's some medium level, a little bit more far-sighted things, and then some examples of 2 or 3 deep, really far-sighted ideas. And then we'll get to the surprise ending there after those. All right, starting with some surface level planning ideas. If we think about just automating responses you're already doing, pretty simple, right? You set up some good templates and use those as your responses to customer inquiries. Just setting up some sort of Zendesk or Freshdesk, something that streamlines ticket management, can reduce confusion when you log in. You know which tickets are the oldest, need to be responded to the fastest because they've been prioritized. If you did have an assistant, you could, say I'm delegating the ones that are tougher. Medium level planning. Let's take a look at a few of those examples. These are, looking a little further ahead. You could hire and train an assistant instead of doing it yourself, right? We're getting a little bit more into the zone of working on the business at a more significant level. And when you do so, record that customer support training process. I always tell people, look, it doesn't matter if you never plan to hire another person, record it, because you just never know when you're going to expand or that person's going to quit unexpectedly. And so if you just record everything, you can always send those recordings to someone else to do some editing, clean it up, and use it as training for the next person. So you don't have to spend time training the second or third customer support rep. Creating a hiring template. So if you're going to hire somebody once, capture all of those various things that you said, like here's the skills we need, here's the qualifications, you have to work these hours, things like that, right? So we're capturing as much as we can. And those are kind of medium level. Deep level planning ideas, if we said, all right, we really want to ratchet productivity, you could hire a support manager whose job it is to find people, hire them, train them, figure out who's going to cover for who when someone's sick or on vacation, building an advanced knowledge base, regular training and upskilling your support team. These are all good. But one of the traps that we can sometimes get into is where we start to try to really focus on improving something that is not the core of how we do business or how we differentiate ourselves in the marketplace or how you generate income. You don't want to spend all of your time getting really good at something that is just a side issue. This is similar to what Dan Nicholson says, who's runs a very successful CPA firm and has amazing business insights. He says, don't innovate where you don't differentiate. Or actually, I think the way he says is actually only innovate where you differentiate. And what he means by that is, like in his case, if you're running a CPA firm, don't try to come up with some innovative way for building your websites. Like that is not where you differentiate. So maybe where you differentiate is you're the best of the best at crypto taxes or some niche thing like that. Innovate there, like have your innovative systems or proprietary methods there. Spend your time and mental energy making that the best of the best, not how you build websites, right? And so in the same way, if we transfer that concept, where does your business earn cash? What is it what is the special sauce that allows you to bring value to the world, where there's an excess capacity, where you can make something for $3, but it's worth $30 to people who want to buy it because it would be way harder for them. They don't have an excess capacity of manufacturing ability to create whatever that thing is, right? That's what business ultimately comes down to, is you're leveraging excess capacity. Someone has an excess capacity for doing something and someone else needs that. They don't have the excess capacity, but maybe they have an excess capacity of dollars to spend on that, because then it allows them to leverage what they do best, right? And so what we want to do is look for what is your ability to make some meaningful difference in your own business. And generally speaking, it's not going to be customer service. So sometimes the trick is that you shouldn't even be looking at that in the first place. Here's the key. You want to be thinking about the end goal, where you differentiate, where you bring value. What is it that generates that excess capacity? And sometimes it leads to different kind of questions that allow you to skip past all of those various steps that we talked about, building up your own surface level templates for yourself, and then gradually finding someone and hiring them, one day getting a manager, expanding. All of those things, you could skip past them by just outsourcing to a customer support agency. And I know right away, of course, the objection is, well, if you're just a startup, you don't really have money for that. But you have to remember that if you're spending your time costs a certain amount of money to the business, and you can spend it in customer support, or you can spend that time doing the thing that makes you uniquely valuable in the business, that makes your business able to generate more revenue. And so it makes sense most of the time to outsource something, even if it's more expensive than hiring internally and training people from the ground up, so that you can focus on the thing that you do best, the place where you differentiate, right? That's the key. And so sometimes it just requires a different kind of thinking to be able to find the most productive thing. Sometimes it's not to ratchet in every area of your business, but instead to cut things out, to think more in terms of the 80-20 principle. And if we took it one layer deeper, like if you had done that and you outsourced for 6 months, and your plan was, we'll build an internal team at some point, save a lot of money, have more control at a granular level, maybe even have higher quality customer support, but a year passes and it's still not critical, and you're making progress in other things. And then AI starts to develop and become available in ways it wasn't before. Suddenly now you can do even better customer support than you were doing yourself by letting AI do 90% of it. And because you didn't focus on trying to build this system for something that wasn't even your point of differentiation, now this can be solved at a different level by using outsourcing or automation tools to solve a problem and help you to up-level your business's output without taking your eye off the ball of the things that you do best. So here's your micro challenge of the week for productivity. I want to challenge you to think about the things that you're trying to ratchet, the things you're trying to get to work better and better in your business, and ask yourself, if that's not the place where we differentiate and really create value, what is? And how can we focus more of our attention on those fewest, smallest, most narrow number of places where we would make the biggest difference by putting your mind share on those things? I'll talk to you again soon.